What's good? It's your boy Lil Darryl. I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastards. Yes, sir.
Just made 50 bands in a month, baby. We going straight to Cologne, baby. You know I'm really from slums, baby. I got rich, yeah, I came out the slums, baby.
All right, so we got Lil Darryl jumping off the porch with us today. Welcome, bro.
What's good, man? What's goody?
Man, I'm feeling great. How you feeling today, too?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling blessed.
Yes, sir.
In the A with it, you know?
For sure, man. Yeah. What brings you to Atlanta, man?
Hey, I mean, just networking, you know. I had a couple of things to do out here, so, you know, I just wanted to visit off the porch, show some love.
There it is, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you pulling up on us, too,
Yeah.
man. So, man, let's go ahead and dive into it. So, originally from Maryland, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you grew up at, too?
Yeah, Silver Spring, Maryland. I grew up in Montgomery County area. Well, I really stayed a lot of places in Maryland. I stayed in Frederick County for a little bit, like coming up in middle school. Then I stayed in Montgomery County, you know, and then, you know, really all over, you know, just moving around. But North Carolina is really where I got a lot of my upbringing too. I probably spent half my life in North Carolina. I moved there when I was like 15, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think of North Carolina when you first moved there, coming from Maryland? I'm sure it was a big change of pace.
It was a big change for sure. Like, it was a lot slower. Like, Maryland was a lot more up to pace and up to speed. North Carolina was a lot slower. The school systems was a lot different too. You know, I felt like the learning up there was more advanced in Maryland, you know, so I felt like the school system was a little bit slower in North Carolina, but I loved it though. I thought it was straight, you know, the transition from Maryland to North Carolina. I think the South, you know, definitely played a part in just like my style, my upbringing, you know, so yeah, I love the Southern hospitality too in North Carolina too, so yeah, I love the Carolinas too.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
And so, like, what were you into as a kid, man? What were some of your hobbies and all that?
Music. So I've been making music, you know, ever since I was like 10, I started making music. I was actually like in a little rap group. So we had a little rap group called TJ5B. It was me and my boys, and, you know, once I, you know, started, you know, actually getting the passion for music, a lot of them stopped rapping, but I kept doing it. So, like, coming up in school, I was like in a lot of talent shows, a lot of different musical things. So, you know, music was definitely, you know, a good thing for me coming up. You know, it just definitely helped me network with other people in the area. You know, I was definitely popular in school coming up just because of making music, you know, so. And then I used to do a lot of entertainment videos too, like comedy videos, YouTube and stuff, yeah. So we had a video that went viral in the DMV called Our DMV World. It was me and my boys, we used to do like skits. And this is like way before TikTok and stuff. So it was like way ahead of our time. We were doing the same type of content, but just more long form, but we edited it in like Cyberlink Power Director. We was putting it up and staying up all night, editing it in there. I remember one time when we dropped the video, like the first day it had like 10K views. We're like, damn, you know, so like, you know, it started going around the area in our community in Maryland. People in other schools was like, damn, I seen your video. I used to go up to different places and they'll be like, damn, that's Darryl, you know, I seen your video, bro. So it was really cool. You know, I had, you know, the music thing going on. I had the comedy thing going on. So I was able to just network, you know, I was really good at networking coming up, you know, so that's what it was really.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
And you end up going to college after school, right?
Yeah.
What college did you go to?
I went to North Carolina Central University, so NCCU.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there. You know, it was a good chapter of my life as well. I mean, college wasn't for me, so I did drop out of college, you know, but I think for me it was more so the networking. I made a lot of good connections, friends, you know, at Central. I definitely loved the college lifestyle, you know, the parties, the girls, all that stuff. So, you know, I definitely loved the Central. You know, I still show love to Central. You know, they homecoming coming up soon, so I'm about to be at Central homecoming, you know, teed up.
And what did you even pick out a major, and how long were you at college?
Yeah, I was a business major at first.
Okay.
But then I realized, like, one, the statistics was ass. So I could not pass statistics for nothing. So like that was one of the pre-required classes you had to pass to get into your major classes. Once I realized that I couldn't do the statistics, I switched majors to mass comm.
Really?
So yeah, I switched to mass communications. That was a pretty decent major, but you know, I still had a little bit of the business mindset still, but I realized you don't need a business major to be successful in business, you know, so more so after school, like I dropped out. So what happened is one summer I had to do summer school because I was behind, you know, so I wanted to do summer school to catch up, but then I lost the financial aid for summer school. So you're like, dang, you can't do summer school. So I was like, dang, it's either go back to Maryland or, you know, stay in North Carolina. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just staying in North Carolina, work, you know, so I went on Craigslist, I started just looking up some jobs, and I just started filling out hella different applications or whatever. I got an email like the next morning, they're like, hey, you know, we want you to come in for an interview. It was like a sales position. So I went for the interview. It was actually for Kirby vacuum cleaners. So, you know, I was like,
what do I know about vacuum?
yeah, like what the hell, like a vacuum? And they're like, yeah, you know, they sell it door to door. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, I'll try it out. What intrigued me was the fact that the lady during the interview, she was like, you know, you can make, you know, $400 on a sale. And I was like, in college at the time, I'm like, yeah, that's a lot, you know? So I was like, you telling me if I sell a vacuum cleaner, I could get $400 for a sale? So I started doing the math. I'm like, shit, if I sell like about 10 of these a week, you know, that's good. That's good money. So, you know, I was really excited. I remember right at the interview, you know, they're like, yeah, come back in for training. You got the job. I'm telling my boys, I'm like, yo, I think I found a cheat code, bro. I'm like, yo, they say you can make $400 a pop. So, you know, at the time, you know, I'm into other little stuff like selling weed, doing little stuff like, you know, here and there. So, you know, the fact that it was good money and legit money, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm definitely going to try it out. So I ended up doing the Kirby thing, and I actually exceeded in Kirby. You know, they had like different levels that you can, you know, get promoted to. So the highest level is factory distributor. And the one right under it was DT. So I actually made it all the way to DT. I had actually had a small office in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I had a sales team. We was in, you know, trapping in the van, like 12-hour days, you know, knocking doors. Just, it was really a good experience though, because I'm doing it with my boys, you know. So like, we just all, you know, grinding, getting money together, you know. And when the Kirby thing, you know, I just started, you know, losing the passion for it, mainly because the long days, the long hours, the money was good, you know, definitely was good money at the time. And being a college dropout at the time, I was like, you know what, fuck school, because I'm making good money with Kirby. So I said, fuck the school shit. And then I just kept going with Kirby, and then just, you know, putting it in my goal, like, hey, look, I want to get to the factory distributor level because I know that's the big money. And then I came from a distributor who was the #1 distributor in the world. So it was a good office that I was working for because the culture was good. And then I'm like, not only that, he was an African-American successful person. I'm like, dang, he's doing all this legit. He driving a Mazda, you know, nice cars. And at the time, I think I'm like 19. So I'm like, you know, shoot, let me just try this Kirby thing out. I could get money with the Kirby thing and then save it, put it into the music, you know, so invest in my music. So I used to use my Kirby money to pay for studio time and all that stuff. So music videos and all this stuff was funded by the sales, you know. So that's really what drove my passion for sales, just being able to make a commission. And it was a high ticket. I'm like, okay, I like this high ticket stuff. And I just felt like after tasting the money and commission sales and stuff, I was like, I can't really go back to like a 9 to 5, you know?
Exactly, a downward wage.
Exactly. I can't go to the 9 to 5. I'm gonna just stick with like the sales. So after Kirby, you know, I went into life insurance because I had a guy in Kirby that left Kirby and got into like the life insurance industry, and he was doing good, you know. So I was like, shoot, you left Kirby, dang man. But I say, I mean, you doing good with the new stuff I see you doing. So I tried out life insurance, and I had to get the license. So that was the first part. So I had to study all that stuff, get my license. I passed it, luckily, you know. So once I passed the test, I went ahead and got like appointed with some carriers, started slanging life insurance. So now I'm going door to door. I'm in the hood just selling life insurance, you feel me? So, and then, you know, just the way I look in my demeanor, you know, I'm black with tats. So when I'm in the hood, they looking at me, but they see I got like dress clothes on. They're like, nigga, what you doing, bro? I'm like, shit, I'm slinging insurance, bro. Where your grandma at? So, man, she in the back. So like, I'm just going to different cities. I'm in Kinston, I'm in Greensboro, I'm in Raleigh, I'm in Charlotte. I'm going all over just selling insurance, you know, door to door. And then, you know, after insurance, you know, I got out of that industry actually because the chargebacks. I just hated chargebacks. You know,
They would buy it.
Yeah, like they had chargebacks. So it's like if the person didn't pay their policy within 9 months, that they could charge back the commissions that you were advanced. Damn. So like I was doing good. I was actually writing a lot of business. I was writing like $30K a month in premium. But, you know, the first 3 months of insurance are good, but then after the third month, once the chargebacks start coming in, then you like, damn, you wake up, you look at you're like, damn, I owe the carrier $4,000 in chargebacks. And now you got to go work for free essentially to write yourself out of the debt. So I'm like, I don't really like this career because I feel like, you know, I'm kind of working to be in debt long term. It's like a hamster spinning on the wheel. So I just, you know, said, fuck insurance. And then going on YouTube University, doing my research, got into the solar industry. Solar was popping though. And then at this time, you know, I think Biden has got in office. They had a lot of different tax credits and stuff available. So I got into solar, interest rates were low at the time, I started just slanging solar, but the commissions were a lot bigger. Kirby, the average commission was probably like $400 or $500, right? Get into life insurance, the average commission went up like probably like $1,000. So that's even better. I'm making a little bit more. Solar was big money. It's like $10K a deal. You feel me? So I'm like, whoa, the deals start hitting. So I just started stacking it up off the solar, and I just naturally started building a team. I was posting a lot of my wins on social media. People were naturally gravitating towards me, just hitting me up like, dang, Darryl, I see you posting these crazy deposits, bro. Like, what you doing? I need to tap in with you, bro. Like, what you want? Just from my come up, a lot of people that I'm around, they still like in the streets and stuff. Like, they may, trap, they may finesse, do whatever they got to do. But, the fact that they're like, dang, I remember we was running together and you just doing your thing now, you went legit. Like, I need to tap in with you. So that's just always been like the MO, because a lot of people that know me, they know me from like making music. They know me just from being the funny guy, goofy, the popular person. And when they see me just on that business tip, it was just like a different side of Darryl that they seen. So they're like, what, we got to tap in with this dude and see what he on. So I started building the team with solar. We started going crazy with the just the expansion of solar, just in our little small circle. A lot of my boys from college that I went to school with, they end up getting their degrees and stuff, but they weren't working, and I dropped out, but they working for me. So that's like, you see how times change.
Shows you that you made the right decision.
Exactly. I'm like, you see how it is. I mean, but solar was good, but then the industry started going down because the tax credit obviously is about to go away. Interest rates start going up, so the money start changing. Shit starts slowing up, and I'm seeing it slow up, and I'm seeing the industry decline. So it's like, before the ship sinks, I'm gonna jump off the boat. So I started just looking into other stuff, and that's when I got into real estate. So I had always knew about real estate, just watching videos and stuff, like when I was like back doing Kirby and stuff and just looking at other sales stuff, but I never tapped into it. But I always knew it was gonna be like an end goal. Like, hey, everyone's end goal is like, we make a whole bunch of money and then we retire and buy a whole bunch of real estate, Yeah, live off of that, right? But I seen that, there was a different method of real estate. There was a thing called wholesaling. So you can make money wholesaling real estate, and the best part is you didn't have to own the property, and you can do it with little to no money. So that was what intrigued me. So I was like, you know what, let me try the real estate stuff. Then I had, some of my boys that did Kirby, some of my boys that did insurance, they ended up getting into real estate, closing deals. So I'm like, okay, I'm keeping up with them. I'm seeing they closing deals. So in the back of my head, I always know, look, if shit hit the fan in anything that I'm doing, I can always try to tap in with real estate. So eventually, like I said, solar went down. I tapped into real estate. I locked in. I just, pretty much just stayed down, watching a whole bunch of videos, educating myself on the knowledge of real estate. And then I closed my first deal eventually after like, a month and a half of just studying and spending money. Now, mind you, I probably spent like $5,000 and not seeing a return. So I was definitely on the verge of quitting, because I'm like, bro, I'm spending all this money on marketing. I'm not seeing no results. Like, I mean, at that point, I started thinking that it was luck. Like, all these people that I'm hearing closing deals, I'm like, bro, it gotta be a little bit of luck, because like, I'm doing everything they say to do, but I wasn't closing. But I ended up learning different methods. So I learned a method called RBP, Retail Buyer Program, or I even changed it up in my method, the BME method, the Bring Me Equity method. So it's a method where you can actually wholesale with a twist, because with wholesaling, most of the time you need to have a cash buyer already lined up when you get the property locked up. So you're just middleman into play, flipping the contract. So, but a lot of times people can easily get contracts, but it's hard for them to actually sell the contract and find someone to buy it. So, I ended up finding a cheat code, being able to list properties on the MLS, the market. And, the MLS gives you the best exposure. That's all these third-party sites, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor. So in my head, I'm like, man, if I can get these off-market properties and get them on the MLS and then use this method that I just learned, I can probably get buyers come to me instead of me chasing the buyers. And that's what happened. So it was
smart right there.
Yeah, so it was an inbound method. So I remember my first ever deal that I closed, I did just that. I ended up getting a contract, because I had got contracts before, but I was never able to execute and get them sold. So there's one contract I said, this time when I get this contract, I'm gonna list it on the market. Listed on the market within a week, someone hit me up, bought it. Sure. So I was like, dang, that was fast, and I closed the deal within like 2 weeks. Sure. And I was like, wow. I mean,
and how much did you make off of that?
10 grand. So it was a $10,000.
Not bad, right?
Yeah, I was like, damn. So I I feel like I just really hit a gem. But you know, most of the time when people do real estate, they think that they got to go get licensed. You know, they got to become a realtor or agent or whatever and go to real estate school. But you don't have to do that to wholesale or do the method that I'm doing. So you just have to have the proper contracts and documentation, you know. So the contracts that I use, they're actually made by real estate attorneys, looked over by real estate attorneys, so they're completely legal. It also gives us equitable interest in the property, so you're able to actually get paid through your equitable interest in the property. So you don't have to get your license, which is the best part, and you make more than what people do that have their license make. So
the people that are actually selling.
Yeah,
right?
so the people that actually went to school and got their license, you can make more than a realtor would on the deal. You know, so it was just, to me, it was just like a win-win. You know.
And this is all recently that you fell into this, right?
Yeah, so like
year.
I've only been doing real estate now a year and probably like 4 months. You know,
Wow.
so.
And how many deals would you say you've closed since then?
20.
20 deals.
Yeah.
At like 10,000 a pop almost?
Yeah, some of them bigger, some of them 20. We just closed a deal last month. It was a $30,000 deal. It was a JV though, so I split it with one of my students. So now I do like coaching and mentorship. So if anyone wants to learn real estate, you know, they can tap in. Right now I actually have a group of 55 people, you know, and we're all just young entrepreneurs just trying to get into real estate and tapping in. And, you know, I've been making like a lot of YouTube content. So a lot of them found me just on YouTube. Instagram, you know, just doing marketing, promoting myself. So my main goal is just to help other people learn, you feel me? And other people that look like me or other people that may be trying to, because my biggest goal, like my passion was music. You know, I didn't end up thinking I was gonna get into sales, but I definitely realized like, dang, sales plays a big part in all of this because now I have the funds. Like everybody knows with a rap career, just to push a single, you need $250,000. To effectively push a single. So
that's what Peasy said, right?
Yeah, so like a lot of people don't realize you need the money, you know, unless you're in the streets, you know, trapping or, you know, doing it, whatever you're doing, you ain't about to like run that up just working a 9 to 5. So you got to get into high ticket sales. And, you know, there's a lot of money out here, legal money that you can make, but people don't know that, you know, so we just always go to the easy way, the fast money. But, you know, I have a lot of guys locked up, you know, so I was the guy that's free doing the legit stuff, but I'm putting money on my boys' books that's locked up. So all of them, they're like, damn, bro, I should have tapped in with you. Like, bro, when I get out, bro, I'm gonna go legit. So for me, it was more of a motivation. Like, look, I wanna be the poster child. Like, dang, you could do it the right way. You don't gotta trap, you don't gotta do nothing, you don't gotta finesse. You can literally make legal money and put it into the music, you know? So that's one thing I want to do. Like, and I really started falling back more so on the music because a lot of people be like, dang, you don't make music no more. I still drop music, I still make music, but I've mainly been focusing more on sales. And I feel like if I do tap back into the music, I want to go more the exec route and go the executive role and just fund artists, you know, put money into the music, you know, because when I'm 29 now, not saying it's I'm too old to, you know, still chase a rap dream, but I just think, you know, long term, you know, so I definitely want to go to CEO route. I got my brand, Blue Money Empire, and it's more so just a brand of just, like the name says, Blue Money Empire, empire of people that want to make money. So, you know, yeah, I'm pushing it as a music label, but I'm also pushing it as a way for people to just tap in to legit legal money. So if you want to tap in with real estate, high ticket sales, you can tap into the Blue Money Empire. It's more of a community, a network that I'm building, you know, so that's what the BME movement's about.
And what made you want to share the game instead of just gatekeeping it all for yourself too?
Because everyone be gatekeeping, bro, and I just realized that, you know.
Because you had to find this out on yourself.
Yeah,
too,
but it's weird because it's like, what I did is like, a lot of people won't take the time to go invest into the free knowledge. So even when I got into solar, I had actually paid someone for mentorship, you know, before, and that helped me get faster results because I could have easily went to go work for a solar company, but I found a guy on YouTube, and then one of the things that he was saying is that he was doing it independently, making more money. So I'm like, I can pay this guy on YouTube and make more money at the end, or I can go work for a company and just do that route. So I ended up paying him, and it worked because I was very successful at solar. And that was the first time I realized, like, dang, when you do pay for like knowledge and investment, it plays a part. So I told myself, I said, when I do learn the game, I'm gonna go ahead and become a coach too, because I can share the knowledge. Now, obviously I can give free game too, but if people want to get that one-on-one mentorship, they can do exactly what I did when I got into solar, you know, because it helped me. And then it's been working. You know, I've helped a lot of students close deals. I've helped a lot of people touch their first 5 figures. You know, I've helped a lot of people make 6 figures, you know, and honestly, once you help other people make money, it's better than you even making money. Because I just like seeing what it does for others. Like, I remember one of my boys, you know, I helped him run it up in solar, and he ended up coming in real estate with me too, and started doing good in real estate too. So, you know, I'm like, dang, okay, I'm good. I'm a good leader, you know, because you could be a boss, right? Or you could be a leader. I don't even want to call myself a boss. I like calling myself a leader because people just naturally gravitated towards my energy, you know, and just the type of person I am. So I just told myself, look, you know, put people on, and then, you know, I always believe in good karma. Like, hey, God bless me back too, you know, and he's been blessing me. So I just keep spreading the knowledge, you know, keep pushing my brand, keep pushing my movement, and do what I got to do to just keep making it to the top. You feel me?
Yeah, now salute to you for that, man. So looking ahead, like what's some, you know, big goals that you got set, some long-term goals you got set for yourself and for the brand too?
For the brand, mainly it's just making it bigger than life, you know. Reach more people, you know, help more people. And the more people that, you know, see results and show their testimonials, they'll spread the word. And, you know, everyone's going to be BME. Everyone's going to be pushing the BME movement, you know, the wealth movement. For me, long term is just, you know, stay consistent, you know, keep staying in the game. You got to be in it to win it. So keep selling, keep staying down, investing, you know. So I'm, you know, starting to dabble in the crypto stocks, you feel me? And just letting your money become soldiers for you, because, you know, even with the sales, you know, it's still active income. You got to go out there. I'm in the field grinding. I'm buying leads. I'm closing deals, you know. But, you know, with the investor route, you know, I started putting my money in Bitcoin. You know, I'm going to sleep. I'm waking up. The market's going up. I'm making money in my sleep. So I'm trying to get more on the investment route too, and just, you know, building myself as a better person, getting 1% better every day. You know, hitting the gym. You know, just, you know, getting more knowledge. Every day I'm learning. You know, like I've only been in real estate like a year and a half. So
which is crazy.
I don't go around here try to present myself as a guru. I just showed my results, and then people naturally gravitated. So just want to become better and better at real estate, better and better at sales, keep making better music, you know, pushing my brand. So, you know, that's what I want to do, man.
What type of music have you been making lately? Is it just mostly motivational music, since that's
I mean,
on right now?
The good thing, it's really motivational music, get money music, you know, get fly. You know, I ain't rapping about shooting and killing, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. We ain't on none of that. We on that get money. Like, if you really about getting the bag, you know, like I just dropped the joint Starlight's music. You can go check it out, Lil Darryl Starlight's music. Like, everything I'm talking about in my raps, I'm really living. You know, I just made 50 bands in a month, baby. We going straight to Colombia, baby. Like, I'm really making 50 bands in a month. I'm really taking trips to Colombia. Like, we really doing what we rapping about. Like, we ain't doing no cap in the rap. So, and it's good because, you know, when you actually living what you rapping about, and you getting the money, and you showing the money, you showing the lifestyle, that's what people want to see. They don't want to see none of that fugazi stuff, you know. So I'm just trying to push a different narrative, you know, a different movement, and, you know, people that, you know, are on what I'm on are gonna gravitate to, you know.
Yeah. And what's some game you would share to the youngins, to the youth coming up right now too?
To the youth coming up, man, just like, we live in America. It's hard out here, you know. People don't realize shit is going up. It's hard, and like, I feel like for me, like when I look around at my peers, you know, people are still trapped in like a mindset of just like being slaves to society. Like, I feel like in this country, the only way to be successful is you got to be selling a product or a service, you know. So you got to get into sales. There's so many sales. There's tech sales. There's real estate. You know, there's door to door. Like, I'm really door to door. Like, and a lot of people don't realize, like, that's one of the best things to do, because that's money that you can go get right then and there. Like, you don't got to wait on it. You know, most people be like, dang, you would knock someone's door? And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it for years. Like, and I'm telling you, get into sales. If you're a youngin' right now, you fucked up on money and you don't know how, get into door to door sales. And I promise you, like, 2 years of door to door sales is worth way more than a college degree.
I feel like that's got to be the toughest sales job there is too.
Yeah.
Because you basically cold knocking on someone's door that doesn't even want to see you, let alone buy something from you.
Exactly.
So if you could turn them into a buyer,
yeah,
you got a gift for that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so, like, looking ahead with the music, are you going to keep rolling this out? Or like you said, your main focus is just kind of getting behind some other artists?
I'm gonna keep making music for myself too, because like I said, I'm still young. And I still make good ass music, so might as well keep pushing it. And not only that, but like I said, still also look for other artists. You know, like, people don't realize that the background, playing the background role, they make the most money. Like, I look at people like, you know, QCP and all of these different CEOs, and I'm like, dang, I want to do what they doing. I can do what they doing, you know, like why not? You know, or be like Birdman. Shit, Birdman is 50 years old still rapping, dropping verses. So
He's on the biggest
that's what I'm
tour in the
saying.
world right
Hey,
now.
shout out Top. I actually went to Youngboy's crib doing solar. Yeah, so
Nice.
that was the craziest part. You know, like shout out Top, shout out the NBA gang. You know, I was just actually with my boy Pistol P when they was out there in the DC show. But yeah, you know, that's another thing. Door-to-door sales helped me meet celebrities. Like I literally went to NBA Youngboy's crib in Utah and presented him a solar panel proposal.
Wow.
You know, and then he looked at me and he told me, he was like, bro, you persistent, you know, keep going.
You gotta be with
Yeah,
sales,
keep
right?
going. So, you know, if one of my favorite artists is telling me keep going with sales, why would I ever stop? You know, so like, you know, it's just been, you know, like I said, sales has brought me to a lot of different places, made a lot of different connections. So it's just been a blessing, honestly. Like I said, I just want to spread the knowledge to others and help others, you know, get on.
And going back to the real estate, like you're doing all this from your phone, and you're not limited just to the area that you live in. This is nationwide, right?
Yeah. So with real estate, you just want to have marketing channels. So I do 3 marketing channels. I do Facebook ads, so I run my own Facebook ads. I do SMS blasting, so I send out like mass SMS, like 400, 500 texts a day. And then I also do PPL, which is pay per lead. So I'll just buy warm leads.
Okay.
So I usually put myself on a budget. So I'll say like, you know, this month I'll spend $2,000 or $5,000 on leads and marketing. And then I'll buy the leads. And then once I contact the motivated leads, obviously they want to sell their property. So I just do my fact find and get some more information on the property, what needs to be repaired, what needs to be done. Run numbers. If the numbers make sense and I can actually work out a good deal with the seller, I'll get them under contract. Now, once I have the seller under contract, that's when I go into the marketing of the deal, you know? So first thing I do is I'll put it on the MLS. I may throw it on Facebook groups. I may do an email blast to my investor network. And 9 times out of 10, I'll get it off using the MLS because retail buyers pay more anyway. So even if I do got an offer from an investor, a retail buyer will pay more. And the good thing about retail buyers is they can use loans, you know? So they may be using a conventional loan, an FHA loan, and I still can be able to complete the play. Normally with wholesaling, you can only deal with cash buyers, and that limits your market. Yeah. So if your cash buyer doesn't want the deal, then you're fucked. You got to keep trying to pitch it to another cash buyer. The good thing about having it on the market and on the MLS is everyone's actively looking for places to live. I mean, real estate is not going nowhere. So why not have it on the biggest platforms? Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin. Like, if you know that your deal is going to be on there and it's going to get more eyes, 9 times out of 10, it's going to have a higher chance to move, and that's usually always the result, you know. So, and a lot of people don't realize that you can actually get your deals on the MLS without having a license, you know. So that's what I teach with my mentorship. I show people how they can get deals on the market, disposition their deals, get their deals sold. A lot of my students actually came in through just doing JVs with me. So on YouTube, I always tell people in my videos, hey, if you got a deal, bring it to me. I'll help you get it sold. People email me, DM me on Instagram. Hey, Darryl, I seen your YouTube video. I've been trying to get this deal, so can you help me get it off? And I'll, you know, help them get it off, you know, and we split the profit. So, you know, it's just a lot of ways that, you know, real estate has helped me. And like I said, all over the phone, right? Oh, yeah. Nationwide. A lot of these properties that I'm selling, I'm not even going to them in person. You know, like I've never been to Michigan ever, and I've closed the most deals in Michigan. That's my top state that I close deals in, and I've never stepped a foot there. But yeah, you know, it's just great because you can make money over your phone. You can travel. You know, I like taking trips to Colombia. I got 2 close friends that live in Colombia. I'm actually from Africa, so this upcoming year I'm going to be traveling to Africa. You know, I got family in Paris, so I just want to utilize my passport, be able to make money from my phone, help these homeowners, make good music, take trips. And that just, honestly, having good lifestyle through my sales career has helped me make better music because now I got more shit that I can rap about. You know, I was seeing more shit, I'm doing more shit, and I can go rap about it, you know, so.
No, yeah, that's super dope right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let people know where they can tap in at you for the mentorships and all that too.
So if you want to tap in, you know, go on my Stan Store. It's Stan Store. If you go on Lil Darryl Instagram, it's LILDARRYL. You can look in the link in my bio. That's my Stan Store. I have one-on-one mentorship. You can get on a coaching call with me. If you want to just get my digital real estate guide, you can get that just so you can learn the concept of real estate. And like I said, just go on YouTube. I do a lot of free game on YouTube. YouTube.com/LilDarrylTV. So if anyone wants to tap in, you know where to find me. You know, you can even tap in down below in the comments and I'll reply back to y'all. So you know, let me know what's up. If anyone trying to get money, I'm the man to holler at. I'm telling you. So we gonna get this bag, Blue Money shit.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Any shout outs you want to give Darryl before we get you out of here, man?
I want to shout out first to Locks by Jazz, because she done got my locks right. You know, shout out Jazz. Shout out my boy Bendu, Free Bendu. Shout out Carter. You know, shout out Suave. Shout out Hefe. You know, shout out the Blue Money Gang. Shout out Pedro. And, you know, shout out the Lord for, you know, having me here. Shout out my family, my Dukes. And yeah, we just gonna keep winning. We gonna keep, you know, pushing the brand. I'm definitely gonna come back on another Off the Porch.
Come on, man.
You know, drop more gems. And next time I'll bring the gang with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
50 bands in a month, baby. We going straight to Cologne, baby. You know I'm really from slums, baby. I got rich, yeah, I came out the slums, baby.